Welcome back, everybody. I'm back today with those important updates on the EIDL, the grants, and the loans. We're going to get into some more details around Congress and what is going on with the infrastructure bill as we are seeing new bills are being proposed. Congress has a lot of attention right now, and I think they're trying to eat it up as much as possible. And we're going to discuss the processing of the EIDL loans. So much happening there, things that you need to know and be familiar with. So share this video with everybody you know inside the EIDL program, whether you're in the grant program or the loan program. We got a lot of great things to cover. Let's get you guys all caught up. Welcome back, everybody. I'm back with that lineup on the EIDL grants and the loans. We're going to talk about what's going on inside of Congress with the infrastructure bill and how that really affects the EIDL grants portion of this all. We also have a newly proposed bill. All that attention on Congress right now, they're soaking up any attention they could get right now just before their 30-day vacation for the Senate, okay? And we're also going to learn about new processing that's happening with the updates around the EIDL loans. By the way, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Edward Bilder. I'm a financial educator, and I teach you the secrets of passive income. That means you make a bunch of money over here, piles of money while you're sleeping, and you wake up the next day and you find it in your bank account. It's actually pretty exciting to learn how to do this, and you could check out my crash course right now found in the description on Airbnb if you'd like to join this lifestyle, okay? I want to start out with the reminder as to what is going on with the infrastructure bill, because it's not over until it's over. So many of you are concerned right now that the grants are going to go away inside of this new bill. This is for the targeted and the supplemental advanced grants through the EIDL program, because remember, they want to rob $32 billion of that to pay for this $1 trillion road bill, all right? Now, even after this thing passes the Senate, it still has to go through the House for a vote and then hit the president's desk. Right now, Nancy Pelosi is in our favor to delay this a bit longer for the EIDL program, because she has stated she will not pass this bill until it is joined with the $3.5 trillion package that is coming from the Senate as well for part 2 of this overall bill. And she is holding out. She's not going to press this through the House until they're both available to be pressed through at the same time. Right now, that is still sitting with the Senate. It has not been drafted. Chuck Schumer has announced that he will work on it and will not release the Senate until that is done. We've seen this before in the past. I'm going to estimate that this bill may not pass until late September or even early October before this bill finally hits the president's desk to get signed, removing a lot of those funds from the EIDL program. So there's still a lot of hope. The big point here is get out there and apply today if you're seeking the EIDL targeted advanced grant, the $10,000 or the $5,000 supplemental targeted advanced grant. Get in the queue right now. It is averaging right now about 2 weeks to get yourself processed. Remember, you have to apply for the EIDL loan. Go out to the SBA.gov website, get yourself in the application process for the EIDL loan. You don't necessarily have to take the loan, and you could also be denied for the loan and still receive your grant funding if you qualify under all of the criteria for the targeted and supplemental targeted advanced grants. Many of you are asking on the channel what is going on with the reevaluation process. Now, the reevaluation process, many of you may remember and recall, I was one of the big channels here that fought and pushed for us to have an appeal process if you were wrongfully denied for your targeted advanced grant, your $10,000. We did win that process. It's called reevaluation. Sounds a lot similar to reconsideration, but to keep those programs separate, they just call it reeval. It is averaging right now 4 weeks to get yourself funded through the reevaluation process to get that $10,000. If you are still stuck in this process, leave a comment down below. I will assemble a list of everybody out there who is still stuck inside the reevaluation process for greater than 4 weeks, and we will send this list off to our favorite congressmen or women. You could also find me on Instagram and leave a message over there if you're still stuck in reevaluation as well. Now, as I said, there is so much happening in Congress right now. I want to touch on some of the most recent events that happened. There's some good things in there. There's some bad things in there. But yesterday, Cardin announced a new bill for $48 billion for the restaurant revitalization funds. He wanted to just basically do this without any debate behind it. Just straight throw it out there and say, I want a unanimous vote on this. It was, however, shot down, unfortunately. I know so many restaurants out there are still struggling and need to see this $48 billion. There was a lot of unfairness created with this program, that restaurants across the street from each other who applied on the same day did not get treated equally in terms of getting themselves funded. Now, he made some important comments here. Cardin made some important comments here. It really shows his cards here a bit, because he said that they undershot. Basically, he's trying to justify this $48 billion. And he said, look, we, Congress, we make mistakes. We completely undershot the PPP fund by $300 billion. He didn't say that we still need to fund it forward, just that we undershot it and funded it another $300 billion back in 2020. And that we undershot the RRF by approximately $50 billion. What really shows his cards here is he said we overshot other programs, and really the only other program out there is EIDL, and he's talking about approximately $200 billion that he believes is overshot inside of that program. That does tend to show us exactly what his thoughts are in terms of what he wants to do with those funds. He has been very vocal about moving these funds away from the EIDL program towards the road programs, right, to pay for the infrastructure bill, moving that money away. Now, he did also talk in the past about moving some of that money towards the RRF, which might not be a bad idea if it is that overshot, but he did express fairness for all over and over in his speech, and forgot about the fact that he did not remind everybody about fairness for all for PPP program. This is where if you were a Schedule C filer and you filed with your net income and the rules changed midway and you wanted fairness to get your gross income, the funds for your gross income, you were not necessarily treated fair. You were basically forgotten about. And he did not express anything in terms of PPP, just that he wants right now to see fairness for all for the $48 billion inside the RRF. So his terms of fairness for all, he announces it quite a bit, and then he sweeps it under the rug later. So I don't know if he's just trying to get some extra votes here for the future or what his plan is, but I would like to see him follow through with the commitments he makes and really try and make some improvements here for everybody out there seeking these funds. Okay, let's talk about the new review procedures. What is going on inside of the SBA? A lot of you right now are experiencing your loan is being resized. What that means is you requested a certain amount, let's say it was $100,000, and you're finding it to be resized to a much larger amount. Now, if it was resized to a smaller amount, that is just because it is what you qualify for based on your 4506T. Now, I did explain the process here through the new process that I posted here from the insiders at the SBA. You go through a review process with a loan officer and then an underwriter. You do not get to talk to that underwriter. It is a completely unbiased decision, and this is why you cannot talk to the underwriter. But what the underwriter is doing is when they find out that you qualify for a much higher amount, they are ordering the loan officers to hit the resize button. It is literally a button called resize inside of their portal that takes your loan value all the way up to the max. Okay, so that is why it is happening. They're basically supersizing your loan, okay? Now, it affects many of you out there, especially those who have already submitted board resolutions requesting a certain value of fund. So you will have to make either adjustments on the side of the SBA or the side of your board resolutions. The repayment amount, of course, will change. And if you decide that you want to take these funds and say you want to return it later downstream to save a lot of the hassle of having to go back through a very long and drawn out process to get it adjusted by the SBA, the interest will start the day you take it. So let's say you requested the $100,000, they resized you to $200,000, you took all that money and you said, I don't want to wait another 12 weeks to get this adjusted by the SBA. I'm going to return that $100,000 later. The minute you took it, you had to pay interest on it, okay? So that is some of the big headaches that a lot of you are going to face. And then, of course, the biggest of all is if you are trying to intentionally stay below $25,000 to prevent having to have hazard insurance and put up that collateral, or if you are trying to stay under $200,000 to have to prevent that personal guarantee against your own line of credit. Those are two of the biggest hangups that people are very much upset about. Now, in some cases, the loan officer may call you, so be on the lookout for phone calls from a Washington, D.C. or a Texas area code, because they may call you to ask if you want this adjusted before they hit the resize button. They do understand that it does affect you very much, and they will check with you. Now, the other portion of them, they're just hitting the resize button based on what the underwriter's telling them to do. Because remember, the loan officers are these small groups of, say, 8 to 12 individuals working under this big umbrella of 1,300 total. So they all do something just a little bit differently. The process does get delayed and does get extended if you wish to go back and have it adjusted back to the original amount that you did request. It will slow you down in this process. So you're going to have to really ask yourself the question of what you want to do as the next steps. Before you guys leave today, if you'd like to continue to support the channel and all the efforts I do here, remember to become a subscriber, hit the like button, and you can also swing by the description right now and check out my crash course on Airbnb, where you can get yourself into the real estate game with a $50 bill. You could cash flow through Airbnb in 3 business days, earning an extra $5,000 to $10,000. You don't have to own this real estate to do it. And when you want to scale the process up and earn more money, you just repeat the process over and over and over again. Check out that crash course found right now in the description. You could also join me on my Zoom calls Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Find me over on Instagram or leave a comment down below if you'd like to be a part of those Zoom calls, if you want to learn how you could partner with me and my current B&Bs. That's going to do it for today, folks. I wish you all the best, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye for now.